QPS is a global research organization specializing in phase 1 of clinical research. So, guys, let's find out how you can help participate in some of their studies and make some extra money at the same time. Take a look. It's great to see our friend Joey Barbagiovanni of QPS. Joey, here's the million-dollar question. If somebody's just tuning in, what is QPS?
So QPS is a contract research organization. We've been in Springfield for the last 28 years. We specialize in phase 1 clinical research, which is whenever a new pharmaceutical company wants a new product to come to the market or maybe change the ingredients of an already marketed product, it has to go through an entire testing process. And we're step 1 in that. To where we're typically testing the metabolization rates, how long it stays in your average healthy adult, as well as how it interacts with food.
Well, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
So if you're needing people, what would disqualify me? Let's say I wanted to do a study. What would disqualify me from doing a study?
So with that, each one is different. Each different sponsor or pharmaceutical company does get to create their own restrictions, and it really just depends on what's being tested. So some are going to have very strict requirements, others not so much. So really all you got to do is call and find out, see if you qualify for one.
So you have to check and make sure to see. I love that. Are there, first thing I kind of think of is like, well, are there any risks to doing a study?
So with that, there are risks associated with that, but we have medical staff on call during all times during the study to make sure that our participants are kept healthy and they leave the same way they came in, if not maybe a little bit more well-rested.
Everybody could use that. Being more well-rested, of course. So what happens, kind of talk it through it with me, what happens during a stay at QPS?
So there's actually a lot of downtime in phase 1 trials, since we're not testing the effectiveness of medication, just again how long it stays in the body. There are blood draws associated, sometimes some other short procedures. Other than that, there's a lot of downtime. We have Wi-Fi, streaming services. We encourage people to bring in whatever they'd like to keep themselves comfortable and occupied, as they just kind of like hang out with us.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, and Hy-Vee comes in and they cater every meal. So you get breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a snack, and it's just like a little staycation. Well,
speaking of staycation, and that makes me wonder, how long are the studies?
That varies, again, study to study. I've had ones that last a day, and I have one going on right now that it wraps up in about a year and a half. Now, that's not you stay with us for that long.
Oh, right.
Usually studies like that are just some returns at our facility.
This is like so fascinating to me. So let's say I wanted to, I called you up, I applied. Let's say I have some friends who maybe want to do it with me. Could I also suggest some friends and we do it together?
Yeah, I actually highly encourage that. I like when groups of people come in and do studies. It's a lot more fun. And we also have a referral program. So anybody that you bring with you that does a study with you, or maybe one in the future not with you, we pay out $200 per person.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And in this economy, that could go a long way.
Yeah.
You need that.
Maybe get you like a gallon of gas.
Right. Exactly. So when I think about, the studies and the way you're talking about, it's like, kind of feel like a lab rat. Is that the way you're going to feel when you're doing a study?
I get that one a lot when I'm on the phone with our participants, and that is not the case. We have a separate committee here in town called the Internal Review Board, which goes over every study, every procedure, and every step in the process to make sure that our participants are treated ethically and their safety kept top of mind.
So if, let's say you have a study that's more than a day, what happens if you have to leave early?
There's nothing wrong with that. We realize that life happens and there are certain events. Doing research studies is completely voluntary, whether it's just after you sign up and you want to quit, or if it's the day before the study ends, or even the day the study does end. There's no consequences, and payments will all be prorated for you.
Perfect. And speaking of payment, people want to get paid. Is there a link between the clinical research study and the amount of time you have to be there with the pay?
So there is no risk between risk and the amount of payment you get. It's all just based off of how much time it takes out of your schedule. So typically, the more time you spend in the facility with us, the more returns and the more procedures, that's where you'll see the higher payments.
That is, if somebody wants to maybe learn more, maybe become a participant in the study, what is the best way to get in touch with you, maybe apply? So
the first step to apply is to go to our website, 417studies.com. You click on enroll, and then we'll actually reach out to you once we get that processed.
Joey, you've convinced me. I might be giving you a call later today.
Definitely, you should.
Who doesn't need some extra money, Yeah,
we've got a lot of studies going on, so you should come stop by.
Thank you so much, Joey. Good to see you. Give them a call or go to the website today to learn more about QPS and what they do and how you can make some extra money. Thanks, Joey.
Thank you.
I was on their website this morning.
Were you?
Looking at some of the studies. Now, I was just telling Kelly, I was like, I could use some extra money.
Now, the one you were looking at, how much time? Do you know how much time?
Now, see, that's the thing. I don't know the time.
I'm saying for the amount of money that that's offering, it would be a lot of time.
If you go to their website, check it out because it shows what studies they have open, the compensation, and then there was something else. I was just briefly looking at it this morning, but I was like, well, dang, and it's right here in Springfield, and I know a lot of people, and it tells you if they're looking for males or females, or both, healthy adults. And I mean, the thing is, just give them a call and find out more information, and then just see if you're available, or a right candidate to do the study. Because I was telling Kelly, I'm like, I could.
Well, time is money, and so they do need to pay people for that. So it's a great thing that they're.
And it's right here in Springfield.
Yeah.
And by the way, too, I was looking at their locations. We're talking locations all over the world.
Oh, seriously?
And we have one in Springfield.
How about that?
Isn't that amazing?
That is
I was like,
amazing.
wow, we're pretty cool.
Yeah, we are pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that. All right, guys, we'll be back with so much more right after this.
I was like, Taiwan, England, Springfield, Missouri. There you go.